RDR fam. Hope everybody's doing well. Had a great Friday, and let's talk a little bit about DR before the weekend. All right, so what I'm gonna do today is I'm just gonna talk about like pure play DR, the simple strategy first, because there really was only one of those trades today, and then I'll talk about the kind of more the advanced stuff. All right, so we'll just do a little different rather than just going through all at the same time. Maybe a little. I think it might be confusing some folks around which one is which. So let's talk about DR. And right, so we had a 17 point range today, which is 16, 20 plus. We're good there. Now the pure, what I call the pure play DR play for today was right here. Okay, and that was our retirement setup for today. And if you remember what a retirement setup is, get rid of that so you can see it. So price confirms, right? In this case we confirmed here. Okay, we confirmed high, and then we retraced back down, got all the way to the other side. So this was actually a really strong retirement setup. Got all the way to the other side. We actually, if you look, we actually pierced that DR low, right? So confirmed high, we pierced the low, but we never closed. The body of that candle never closed below that DR low. All right, and that's what we're looking for. Okay, so in that case, what you can do is if you're aggressive, right, you can put an order here on the DR low, okay, for the price to go back up. Can't draw an arrow today. All right, if you're a little more conservative, what you could have done is wait for a price to come up here on the IDR low, right? So you've given yourself, what's that, probably about 6 points for it to confirm itself as to what it wants to do. Okay, so you could have done that, and you could have still taken a, let's see, that's about 96. Let's go 96 to, we probably would get out somewhere up here around 08. So that's 10, 12 points right there. All right. If you're in down here, that's about 91 up to 07. So you can kind of get the math there. So you got 6 more points. So that would have been almost a 20 pointer if you were taking it on the aggressive line. Okay. So to me, that's the pure play DR for today. All right. We talk about retirement setups, and a lot of times it doesn't get all the way down to the other DR. It may stop at the IDR or get halfway in between, and it reverses. In this case, it did a really beautiful job. And you literally had 3 chances to get in on that trade if you were playing the DR. All right, for it to go back to the upside. Okay. So that's to me, that's the pure play, right? And the reason why I say that is because look at some of our advanced stuff. I'm sure there's other places where we could have potentially gotten in a trade. And I'm gonna take all that back. There was a second one I just saw. I didn't really trade this afternoon, but I just saw it. And we'll talk about that one in a second. But if we look at what DR did today, right, the setup, we had this up movement. Now I'm going to be honest, right? I was a little gun shy this morning. So I saw this happen, right? I saw that upward move. So I'm like, okay, cool. That's what we want. But then what I end up seeing was that 1030 candle, 1025 candle, we had that price that just dropped. Okay. Dropped straight down. And I'm like, okay, well, so now am I able to trust my bias? I'm not sure, because what I want to see is kind of a nice move like this, right? So all the candles above that line, right? That's what I really want to see. Okay. But didn't see that. So we had that price drop here. And so I decided not to be aggressive on that trade. Now, what that meant was when we had this move here, where price came back to right here on this eye on the 0.5 fib, right? We had a bunch of opportunities there to actually take a trade. So price comes down, moves back up, comes back down, moves back up, comes down again, and then finally decides to take off. So definitely opportunity here for a trade on the 0.5 fib. All right. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chances to get into that trade, and again, but the only thing you have to actually trust it, right? Because you'd have caught a little bit of heat if you'd have got in on this candle, because you'd have went down, probably 2 or 3 points. So you got to be able to kind of handle that amount of heat. So your risk tolerance is critical for how you're going to be able to take these aggressive trades, right? So not even going to count how many points it is, but it looks like a lot. So we'll go with that number. And then, we came back once we confirmed high here. We actually did do the retrace. But if you notice where we retraced to, we did not retrace all the way to, below the DR. In this case, DR and IDR are literally sitting on top of each other. So it wasn't wasn't any gaps in there for us to look at. But there is no room there, and price, like I said, did not actually come down below. And then, like I said, what I want to see is I want to see that candle come down, and I want to see the next candle start to move up, so I can put my order there, right? That would be the move that I'm looking for. But we didn't have that, so no, that could have been somebody more aggressive would have taken that trade, and that's a solid trade there, 5 points at least, if I'm not mistaken, probably a little more than that. All right, so next move we have is price coming down. Now, one thing here that I want to show, right? So let's see. So price comes down here, right? Below the DR. Okay, so we've retraced now, right? Officially. Next candle does what? Goes back up toward the DR. Okay, so now if my order is sitting here, all right, in this case, what's happening is I'm actually not getting picked up. So I'm saving myself some grief right here, because if I had gotten picked up, I definitely would have gotten stopped out, right? Because prices turned back around and came down. So that's why, to me, the ladder is so important, because it lets me know where I'm going to put my order, and then I can say, okay, I know if this happens, and I want price to go up, right? Because I'm looking for I confirmed high, so I'm expecting price to go up. I know if that doesn't happen, and I'm like 2 or 3 points into it, right? And that move happens where it just kind of comes down. I'm getting out of that trade probably right there. Okay, I'm not taking a chance with it, because again, my expectation is that this candle would have just rocketed up higher. All right, so again, that's part of my risk, how I look at risk and how I kind of mitigate my risk. I'm okay taking a 2-point loss. I'm fine taking a 3-point loss. I'm fine taking a 5-point loss, right? Because I know at some point my bias and and the DR strategy itself is going to get that back to me pretty quickly. Okay, we had a massive week this week. If you were looking DR yesterday, if you would have played it out, we had a 50-point opportunity yesterday. So 5 points, 3 points, I'm okay with that. And that's the thing, just kind of my words of advice for today. You just got to be comfortable with that, right? Because you are going to lose. That's just part of the trading game. If you say anybody tells you that they don't lose a trade, they're lying to you. All right, it's impossible not to lose a trade, no matter how good you are, no matter how cautious you are, no matter how much you wait for, 5 levels of confluence, all that kind of stuff. Some of my best trades are the ones where I probably shouldn't have taken it, because there's something else in some confluence somewhere that just said don't take that trade. But because I'm only looking at a couple things, I'm like, okay, I'm in the trade, and if it goes against me, I get out. If it doesn't, I take profit. All right. So that's my soapbox for the day. You gotta, again, I always tell everybody, stick to your plan, follow your own rules, do what you have to do. But at the end of the day, if you're not in the trade, you can't profit from the trade. All right. Okay, back to the reality. Off my soapbox. Okay, here we go. So we talked about this move here down here to this retirement setup. We talked about that. Now next, and I said there was 2 trades I could have taken from a from a pure DR standpoint. The other one is actually right here, right? And I'm sorry I keep getting these lines things in the way. Every time I touch the screen, it puts those crosshairs on it. I gotta figure out a way to turn that off. But anyway, so that's the trade, right? Because if you notice what happens, 2 things actually happen, and there's some confluence here. So we want price to go up, right? So we get up here, price comes back down, right? We have a fair value gap sitting here. Okay. We also have 0.5 fib sitting right above that. All right, let me get rid of that because my drawing is horrible. So here you have this green candle starts to move. So you got 0.5 fib. That's where I would put my order. And if you also notice, just really slight, that green candle actually pierced that fair value gap. But either way, you got that, and you have the 0.5 fib to kind of give you some idea that what price wants to do. and you can see price goes back up here. Okay, so that's the second, what I would call the second pure play DR trade you could have taken off that 0.5 fib. I'll be honest, the last week and a half or so, the 0.5 fib has been immaculate. If you just go back and look at what's happened in New York every day. Every time we get to that 0.5 fib, we do what we're supposed to do. At least enough to scalp it to get some decent points. All right. So anyway, so that is ES. Sorry, I went a little long. I will pull. Somebody asked me to do NQ, so I will look at NQ real quick. Again, I haven't started trading NQ yet. I'm still looking at it. And again, a couple things here, just really quick. We see the same kind of movement here from how price is delivered to the top side. Now, what's nice about this one, NQ here, we confirmed really quick. Okay, we confirmed here really quickly, and then we just kind of retraced. So now what you have is we didn't actually quite pierce it. We didn't get down below it, but you have that 0.5 fib that price goes down to, touches it a couple times or almost touches it a couple times, and then rejects off of it. So, again, if you're super brave or if you're just, very aggressive, you could have taken a trade here on the 0.5 fib or a little bit above that, actually, because you wouldn't have gotten picked up on the 0.5 fib. Maybe half a point higher. That would have been where you got picked up at. But then, we actually went back up here, went all the way up. And I'm sure there's probably some fair value caps in here that I'm not seeing or whatever. But then price comes back down. And so if you weren't in that trade, your next trade would have been that. Now, this is interesting because look where we get back to, right? So on ES, we went down to all the way down to DR low. On NQ, we went down to 0.5 fib and then rejected off of that. Not rejected, or we kind of moved higher off of that move. There's your second trade there, actually down into the fair value gap and then on your DR high or IDR high. Those are the two areas where that trade is available. Right. So opportunities as well on NQ. Would have to be a little patient on this one. Okay. Now, what you could have done, let's see, once this retrace, yeah, I would have done that. I would see that. Let's say I didn't get picked up here on that previous trade we talked about because we didn't get down to the 0.5 fib. Next opportunity is IDR, right? That's what we look for. That's the next rung on our ladder. So as soon as I got the IDR high or even DR high, if I want to be super, super cautious, then I'm making this run right here. All right. So again, plenty of opportunities. It's just patience, and it's not, it's taking what the market gives us. It was the last day of the month, basically, for trading. I'm sure there was some news that came out this morning, but, I'm just following the rules of what the chart's telling me to do. And most of the time, that's going to end up being successful. All right. Anyway, you guys have a great weekend. I know this is super long. I apologize for that, but I just wanted to get some stuff out. Enjoy. Have a great weekend. Love on your loved ones. You never know when you won't be able to do that again, so take advantage of it. And we'll try this again. We'll start on Sunday, see what the Asian market gives us on Sunday night. Other than that, we will see you on Monday. All right, y'all take care. God bless.